Today, the Lok Sabha's monsoon session turned into a battleground of intense verbal clashes, primarily centered on the debate over Operation Sindoor and Operation Mahadev, India's military response to the April 22nd Pahalgam terror attack that claimed 26 lives. The Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha resumed after a week of disruptions and saw high-stakes 16-hour discussion in each of the houses, marked by fiery exchanges between the ruling BJP-led NDA and the opposition that was led by the Congress and other India bloc parties. The session was characterized by accusations, counter-attacks and political posturing on national security, foreign policy and domestic issues, with key leaders from both sides engaging in a charged war of words. Home Minister Amit Shah delivered a fiery 1.5-hour speech in the Parliament today morning describing Operation Sindoor and also spoke about Operation Mahadev. He said that Operation Mahadev was conducted and it has been proved beyond any doubt that the 3 terrorists that were neutralized were the same individuals who were also behind the attack that took place in Pahalgam on April 22nd, killing 26 of those innocents. His speech, in fact, was countered by Priyanka Vadra, Akhilesh Yadav and other leaders in the opposition. Actually, let's take a look at this face-off that took place in the Parliament earlier today.
एक बार मैंने बड़े सवेरे में नाश्ता करता था, टीवी पर उनको रोते हुए देखा। मुझे लगा क्या हुआ, कोई बड़ी घटना हो गई। तो रोते रोते वो श्रीमती सोनिया गांधी के घर से बाहर आए कि बाटला हाउस की घटना देखकर सोनिया जी फूट फूट कर रो पड़ी। अरे रोना था तो शहीद मोहन शर्मा के लिए रोते, बाटला हाउस के आतंकवादियों के लिए रोना आता है।
मेरी माँ की आंसू की बात किए, मैं इसका जवाब देना चाहती हूं। मेरी मां के आंसू तब गिरे जब उनके पति को आतंकवादियों ने शहीद किया, जब वे मात्र 44 साल की थी। और आज अगर मैं इस सदन में खड़ी हूं और उन 26 लोगों की बात कर रही हूं, मैं इसलिए कर रही हूं क्योंकि मैं उनका दर्द जानती हूं, महसूस करती हूं।
देश ये भी जानना चाहता है, वे 26 लोग जो जिनके परिवारों में आज कोई गुजर गया, वे ये भी जानना चाहता है कि 100 दिन गुजर गए और वे 5 दहशतगर्दियों को ये सरकार पकड़ नहीं पाई।
अरे भाई, आपके समय में जो छुप गए थे उनको चुन चुन कर हमारी सेना ने समाप्त कर दिया है। और ये 10 नहीं, कल राजनाथ जी घबराते घबराते बोले हैं, अब ऑथेंटिक शब्द का है मैं बढ़ा नहीं सकता, मगर कम से कम 100 लोगों को हमारी सेना ने समाप्त, 100 से अधिक लोगों को हमारी सेना ने समाप्त करने का।
Have they identified the terrorists, where they came from? I mean, for all we know, they could be homegrown terrorists. Why do you assume that they came from Pakistan? There's no evidence of that.
हमारे पास प्रूफ है, वो भी मैं सदन के सामने रखना चाहता हूं कि तीनों पाकिस्तानी थे। 3 में से 2 के पाकिस्तान के वोटर नंबर भी आज हमारे पास उपलब्ध है। मान्यवर, ये राइफलें हैं, ये राइफलें भी हमारे पास उपलब्ध है। इनके पास से जो चॉकलेटें मिली हैं, वो चॉकलेटें ढोक में से मिली, वो भी पाकिस्तान की बनाई हुई चॉकलेट है।
Okay, those are some strong remarks that have been made by the Union Home Minister Amit Shah. I'm going to start my conversation first with Jasmine Sandawalia. Jasmine, there have been at this point of time talk that has been carried forward by the Defence Minister and by the Home Minister about the successful Operation Mahadev. Now, this operation has coincidentally happened on the very day when the discussions in the Parliament were to commence, the 16-hour discussions in the Parliament that were to commence on Operation Sindoor. There have been evidences that have been provided by the Home Minister in the parliament, talking about the voter ID proof, talking about the chocolates being found, talking also about the ballistic report that finds out that these 3 terrorists used these weapons, these firearms that were also used in the Pahalgam attack. Do you think the opposition should be now convinced?
Well, the opposition, unfortunately, what has happened is that the opposition has taken a stand that it is going to damage India. It is going to take an anti-national approach towards India. For any responsible opposition, the opposition has to understand that in a democracy, we can disagree, we can abuse, we can fight, we can do anything. But when it comes to the sovereignty of the nation, we have to stand together, and we have to stand together against the enemy. They should have played, or they have been harping since 2 months that they want a special session and this Operation Sindoor should be discussed. And when they got a chance, yesterday they said, no, club it along with the voter ID situation which is going on in Bihar. So they are very frivolous in their approach. They are just trying to make a boogie out of something. They've lost the plot. They're not understanding that India after the 1971 war has gone through some very, very challenging times and duress on the 22nd of April when this incident happened.
Okay.
And India has taken...
Okay, Jasmine, there has been a strong rebuttal and a lot of questions that have been asked by the Congress leaders, the members of parliament who are sitting in the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. Priyanka Gandhi Vadra and other leaders have spoken about this intelligence failure. Why have the Union Home Minister, the Union Defence Minister not taken the onus of the security lapse when it has been spoken about, accepted, acknowledged, recognized that there was an intelligence lapse? She has in fact compared this situation to the 26/11 attacks that had taken place and how the then Home Minister Shivraj Patil and the National Security Advisor had put in their papers, decided to quit, step down from their respective positions and taken moral responsibility for the attacks.
You see, every political party has its own ideology and their own way and agenda of working. And I think our Home Minister and our Defence Minister have exemplarily put up a very, very good front for India. Mr. Amit Shah has played a very, very conducive role in what has transpired in the last 2 months. And our Defence Minister is an exemplary man who has, our carte blanche was given to the army for them to decide when to strike Pakistan, and this is for every 4th day of the war.
But then that does not answer our question, right? If there was an intelligence failure, why is the Jammu and Kashmir Lieutenant Governor coming out and saying that I take the onus, I take the responsibility for the security lapse? Intelligence comes under the anvil of the Home Minister. Why hasn't the Home Minister come out and spoken those very words?
No, but why should the Home Minister resign? The Home Minister's job is to curtail terrorism. The Home Minister's job is to take stock of what is happening in the country, and he has done that. Frivolous demand.
Okay, Jasmine, there is an audio issue. Let's try to fix that. Sujata, I'm going to come to you. And a very simple question. Questions have been raised by Congress leaders that why have the perpetrators of the 22nd April Pahalgam attack still not been neutralized, still not been identified by the armed forces, by the government, by the Home Ministry. Now, yesterday there were these 3 terrorists that have been neutralized. There is ample evidence to prove that they were the ones who actually perpetuated the Pahalgam attack. There is enough proof to safely assume that these were not homegrown terrorists, as has been mentioned by P. Chidambaram, the former Home Minister and Congress leader, that they could be homegrown terrorists for all you know. The fact has been proven through their voter IDs that they in fact were Pakistani terrorists who infiltrated into Jammu and Kashmir and orchestrated this attack. Why is the Congress still in denial about this?
Who said Congress is in denial? Don't presume and assume whatever you wish to.
I'm just saying, are you accepting, are you acknowledging that yes, the terrorists have finally been neutralized, and there has been some time that has taken for the armed forces through their intelligence reports to be able to nab these terrorists and neutralize them? And not just that, even before that, when Operation Sindoor was conducted, the masters of these terrorists who were sent into India have been decimated beyond anybody's imagination when those terror hubs were completely destroyed.
I hope this question is for me.
Yes.
Rather than giving answers to the questions and the answers that the government is giving, allow me to answer. Have some patience. I'll request you for that. When you're talking about what has happened in Pahalgam, before I come to that, I take strict objection to what the spokesperson of the BJP said. She's an anti-national. You know why? Because she called us anti-national. It is us who went in those delegations. And make no mistake, when it comes to the country should be united. But the BJP is trying desperately and trying so hard to prove the opposition as anti-national, which is extremely shameful. We have stood with the government. We have supported the government. Our members have gone in the various delegations, and we are asking the relevant questions today. We are not questioning the operation. We are questioning the government on relevant issues like the statements being made by Mr. Donald Trump or by the CDS, no less, in Singapore, or the foreign minister. And these are relevant questions, relevant to the country, because we still live in a democracy, madam. We are not a dictatorship. Now, when you talk about these 5 terrorists, you know, the one BJP spokesperson actually was showing a picture of somebody she expected us to believe was brought down and was a terrorist or one of the terrorists from the Pahalgam attack. And this happened more than a month ago on one of the national channels. This means they have been trying to spread lies. Now, when you talk about the 26/11 terror attack, what happened there? The Chief Minister of Maharashtra, the Home Minister of Maharashtra, Mr. Shivraj Patil, the Home Minister of the Government of India resigned. And all the perpetrators, all the terrorists, save one, were killed right there and then. Don't forget. One who was caught, we got a lot of information out of him, but he was also sent to the gallows after that. And if Tehpur Rana is in India today, it is not because of the BJP. It is because we had provided all the evidences we had collected at that time. But as the BJP may talk about the past, we want to talk about who will be responsible for this security lapse, this intelligence failure. If there were cross-border terrorists who were entering India, didn't the Prime Minister say that after demonetization this would stop? Didn't he say that after abrogation of Article 371 cross-border terrorism would stop? But we have seen terrorist attacks happen day after day in Jammu and Kashmir. Between 2020 and 2025, how many terror attacks took place? How many Kashmiri Pandits were targeted? Is that data going to be refuted by the BJP? Can it be done?
Okay, all right. Again, this argument can be played out both ways, but I'm not going to go back to what the Congress government did. The Congress government did in the past. Our current concern is about Operation Sindoor and the questions that have been raised by the opposition on the floor of the House. Joyita, I'm going to come to you about the entire situation, the hours that have been dedicated for discussion on Operation Sindoor and the opposition raising these questions. How valid do you think they are, and shouldn't at this point of time government be answerable to these very strong, straightforward, direct questions that are being asked, that are not just being asked by the opposition, by people across the globe, by Indians, talking about whether the Rafales were hit whether they were downed, why has there not been a clear statement by the government? It was an intelligence failure. Why is there not onus of responsibility taken by the leaders who are responsible for it? And the fact that how was it that US President Donald Trump ended up announcing the ceasefire even before the government of India could do it?
Well, first of all, I think that the opposition does have a point when it comes to talking about intelligence failure, because yes, it was a major intelligence failure, and it's very surprising, I would say, that this attack happened because they have managed. It's a fact, whatever, it's not a political point scoring, whichever side might want to do it, but the fact of the matter is that especially from 2014 to 2019 and beyond, I would say, there has been, and right up to, I would say, even 2024, the BJP government managed the situation pretty well. The terrorist attack, it kind of went down, except for the Pulwama attack, which was a big one. Nothing major happened, and given the record previously, I mean, that came as a huge relief. But yes, we have seen again in this case, I mean, the terrorist situation also, they keep evolving in terms of Pakistan. It matters how they evolve the situation. In this case, there were lone wolf attacks and all. But in spite of that, this Pahalgam attack took place, in spite of the strong net of security that is there. So, obviously, somebody is answerable for this. How did this intelligence failure happen? What kind of involvement the local population had? So, I think that is a perfectly legitimate question that anybody will be raising. But as far as the question of Rafales is concerned, I don't think we should be, because you see, when the military is saying something, there are certain things that classified information. There is classified information. You do not tell the world about what exactly has happened in a military operation. I am certain the military also, it's a fact, the military also does not want to reveal. I mean, maybe there is talk about the deployed decoys, there is a thing about that, and then they changed their strategy, what kind of strategy went in for that. You have to take all these things into consideration. You see, just to score political points, you do not play into the hands of Pakistan, and that is what exactly I would say the opposition members are doing when it comes to the issue of Rafale and all. And when as for Mr. Donald Trump, I agree with this when Mr. Amit Shah talks about when the foreign minister, external affairs minister of India is saying, standing in parliament, that there was no discussion, no conversation between the prime minister and the president, between this and that, and he has been throughout saying, where was USA during that time? The USA was in USA. So, why would you not believe our leadership and instead talk about a particular, and we all know what is happening in the US. Mr. Donald Trump is taking credit for every ceasefire. Say for example, the latest Thailand and Cambodia ceasefire that happened, it is well known now that that the ceasefire was brought about by ASEAN. The America, somebody may have made a phone call, but now Mr. President, Mr. Donald Trump is talking about that, oh, I brought about the ceasefire and all. Okay. So, perhaps Mr. Donald Trump is not the best reference in this case, with all due respect to the US and the Americans and Mr. President, whoever maybe Mr. Donald Trump was briefed wrongly in this case is all I would say. I don't want to go beyond that, but the fact is that when somebody, I mean that person may be in government and you may be opposed to that particular person and that person's government, does not mean that you are going to raise issues like this and not believe of what the government is saying.
Advocate Manasvi Thapar, what do you make of the situation in talking about banning McDonald's from India, the camaraderie that the Prime Minister of India shares with Donald Trump, also this chatter about how is it that the Prime Minister is so warm and welcoming to Donald Trump when the US President has not given any regard to India, putting India and Pakistan at the same level when it's not true, in fact providing aid to Pakistan, having these business deals, crypto deals with Pakistan, welcoming and hosting Asif Munir after Operation Sindoor was conducted. Now, how should, I mean, there are questions being raised on India's diplomacy, India's foreign policy vis-a-vis United States of America. Now, this is a serious charge.
This is not the first time that questions are raised on a sarkar by the opposition. I get back to 1962 when Indo-China war happened, and at that particular time, if I recollect, it was the third Lok Sabha election, and Congress had 70 plus Lok Sabha seats, 70% of the Lok Sabha, 361 seats after 464 seats were of Congress. And at that particular time when China was on our head, we were fighting against China, the opposition raised amazing questions to the then Prime Minister, including Atal Bihari Vajpayee, him, Berua, N.G. Ranga, Acharya Kripalani ji, but no one in those in power and no political party had more than 30 seats at that particular time. No one in the then in power said that opposition is anti-national or damaging India's interest. All these people, the greatest opposition leaders of those times, Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji, him, Berua, asked questions to the then Prime Minister who was sitting at the time of the war. And the parliamentary debates happened when the war was at a charam seema. At that particular time, people were asking questions in the parliament on the preparedness of our state of affairs, on our foreign policy failures, on our strategic blunders, and people asked questions to Jawaharlal Nehru, who came with a tremendous victory. And at that particular time, more than 165 MPs had raised questions criticizing Nehru's government openly. But these people, the opposition leaders, including those in power, also criticized Jawaharlal Nehru at that particular time, but he did not, or his coterie of people did not say in 1962, those people who asked questions to him, that these people are anti-national. In a strong democracy, asking questions, our ancestors told us that when you ask questions, it is on the contrary making a democracy stronger. But in 2025, what I see is those people who are in power, when questions are asked to them, they say you are serving the interest of Pakistan, you are serving the interest of Afghanistan, you are serving the interest of America, you are anti-national, you are damaging India's interest. How in a democracy that damage is happening? If I don't ask questions to my people, my government, my people who are in power, whom shall I ask questions to? Yeah. I think this is a completely... Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji, at that time, he was 36 years of age. At that time, he said it's a great sin by Jawaharlal Nehru. He did not protect India's territory. When he accused Jawaharlal Nehru, he was not called anti-national. He was not called anti-patriotic. He was celebrated by India. Asking questions in a democracy is a celebration of democracy. Okay. You cannot shield yourself that you are asking army, you are asking military. No, these are questions which 1.4 billion people need an answer to. What is our strength? Power?
Okay, Jasmine Sandewala, how would you like to respond?
I would say that I absolutely agree with Mansfi when he says that in a democracy, the opposition has every right to raise up pertinent questions, and they are most welcome. And that is the reason that 16 hours was allocated to the opposition to raise up any issue concerning the Operation Sindoor. Now, the question is, what do they ask? They are asking that how many Rafales were gunned down. This is a classified news. This is a classified information which cannot be shared. Then on the other hand, P. Chidambaram, a very senior Congress leader, just recently, I think yesterday, goes and gives an interview that these terrorists could have been homegrown. I think the opposition or the Congress especially needs to sit together and really drum together on what policy are they following concerning India, and how are they going to, raise those questions. Nobody's stopping them to ask questions.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Sujata, how do you respond to what Jasmine has said?
Very important questions. And before I go on to Ms. Jasmine's questions, I just heard one of the panelists talk about why are you talking about the jets? Well, madam, the CDS no less in Singapore said that it doesn't matter how many jets came down, we made mistakes, we corrected them. He admitted to his mistake. This is the strength of this country. You can admit to your mistake and then move ahead. And we are not so weak that we cannot take. Can I just speak? That we cannot take the truth. Then General Rahul R. Singh, what did he say? He said that it is Pakistan in front and China behind them. What else was said by the defense attaché, Mr. Shiv Kumar? He said that we were not allowed to target some of the terror bases because we had started by going for 21, but we ended up targeting 9 or 11. But now coming to what Madam BJP spokesperson has said. Well, if you think that asking about jets is wrong, have you forgotten that MiGs have been questioned? It is our responsibility and duty to question the strengths and weaknesses, because that is what strengthens our army, that is what strengthens us. It is the armed forces because of whom, whether it is BJP, Congress or any other party, people across the nation are safe and secure because they put their lives at stake. And if these questions have already been asked by senior...
Fair enough. You've made your point. You've made your point, Sujata. I'm out of time. I thank all of you for joining me on the telecast. And on that note, I slip into a short break. Thanks for watching NewsX.